Hi Flosstube, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and it is Wednesday, June 5th. Mania is over, and I'm a little sad about that because I had so much fun. This was my first year trying Mania, and I started 21 new projects. I made so much progress on them. I got more stitching done than I have in I don't know how long. And I just remembered I am discombobulated. My husband has been on vacation for 2 weeks, which is why I ended Mania a bit earlier. He went camping on Sunday and isn't back quite yet. And just with everything that's been going on around the house, I don't know if I'm coming or going anymore. But I did Mania, and Mania is over. This will give you an idea of my project tracker, how many projects I've had going prior to Mania. And this is my project tracker for the month of May. I'm giddy. I did mostly things that I already had in my stash. I only bought 2 new patterns. Both of those I would have bought without Mania, so I'll show you my last few starts. This is the Splashing Fun bookmark from all our yesterday's Counted Cross Stitch. I don't have a picture to show you because the library needed their book back. I will be checking it out again and doing a flip through because it is so fun. This one is Canner's Kitchen. I know you can't see much from that, and you're not going to be able to see much more from the picture in the magazine. Now, put on your thinking cap and imagine with me. I really like the realistic gathering of the jars and the utensils. I am not going to stitch all of that blue tile, whatever it is in the background, and I am taking a leap of faith that I'm going to like the way it looks when it's finished with that modification. And oh, I should have looked. Should have showed you what magazine. That is Cross Stitch Quick and Easy, October, November 1990. I picked it up because I needed a new start for the night, and it had Halloween stuff on the cover, so I figured, hey, there might be something in there that I could grab a little piece of Veda and some floss, and I wound up stitching a kitchen scene. Next one is the Riolis Russian Cuckoo Clock. Love Riolis kits, love cuckoo clocks. So this is the perfect project for me. Look at how big that fabric is. I made some fair progress on it on the one night that I stitched on it. This is one I'll be going back to almost immediately. I also started Riolis Crocuses on Windowsill. I'm on a still life kick right now. I am just loving the still lifes. And this is actually 9 3/4 by 9 3/4, I think. The bit I got stitched is the ball of yarn and some of the outline of the book. These are brighter colors than I'm used to. All of the Riolis kits I've stitched so far have been kind of subdued, and this one has lots of red and brightness. It's interesting. They put other patterns on the back of the packaging, and those lure me in like you would not believe. Little progress on my Mania starts that I'd already shown you. I added the Cyclone to the Emerald City Cell. I did more on a Caledonian Sky. I should have gridded the fabric for this one. I mean, it's not going to be a crisis if the slope of my hill winds up sloping wrong, but it's starting to make me nervous. And my favorite project right now, the Universal Monster Cell. Look at the creature from the Black Lagoon. Look at those colors. The morning that this room became available, the rest of the family was occupied doing other things, and I dropped everything and I stitched because I love this guy. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite Universal monster movie. And the colors of this, There's something about the colors and the seaweed, and it just... Did you ever go back into like an old aquarium store and that kind of damp smell? This thing is conjuring up all kinds of weird sense memories from my childhood. I got the monster, got the seaweed, all the seaweed that's here I got done on the first day, and then I could not find one of the 3 shades of blue. I know I have a complete set of DMC, so I have this shade of blue. Wasn't in the master set. Looked in all of the projects that I thought of that it might be in. It wasn't in any of those. So I stopped for the day, and there was no way. Closest DMC to my house is at Walmart, and I don't know if Walmart has restocked their DMC since the fire a couple of weeks ago. When my husband went there the other night before dinner, Walmart did not have soup. I don't know if that means Walmart did not have any soup, or they just didn't have bean with bacon soup, but the selection at this store has been terrible for years, and it's not getting any better. So I woke up one night at, it must have been 3 a.m. thinking, the Splashing Fun bookmark has blue. Maybe that shade of blue is in the Splashing Fun bookmark. First thing in the morning I looked, and no, it wasn't there. I was so sad. It finally hit me. It's the blue that I'm using for the sign in Camp Crystal Lake. So I pulled it out. I got the water in my Fancy Fishman room stitched. And I've got a little seaweed left to do, which I think I can probably get done before the new room releases. So if I can find time to stitch, I'm going to stitch. Did more on the goblins. I thought these borders were going to be much harder and more tedious than they are, but they are going quickly, and I'm having fun. The whole theme of this video is I'm having fun with my stitching. My sock, which I think I've showed you in a couple videos, and it was like this much sock, and I have a sock. I have most of another sock, and this yarn is Knit Picks Hawthorne. I love the colors. I love how squishy it is. Favorite yarn. I've got a new sock. These are just Deborah Norville Serenity sock from Joann's. You can get this stuff on sale fairly frequently for like $2.49 a skein, and this is just something to knit on while I'm waiting for files to load or something else to happen. I keep telling myself I'm going to cast on another shawl, and excuse the glare, the cat is letting in the sunshine. And I was going to start a new shawl yesterday, but I went to the pharmacy to pick up my blood thinners, and Hobby Lobby is in the same mall as the Target where the pharmacy is, so I walked down because I needed to pick something up for a tutorial video I've got planned. Saw clearance stickers, walked back to see, just in case they had some more cross-stitch reduced. I think they're weighed in with that. Yarns on clearance. I was good. I only spent $41 on yarn. I didn't buy... It was marked down to, I was paying between $1.24 and $1.50 a skein. There's a picture on my Instagram. So I have yarn for new shawls. I was careful with my selections and didn't fall for the pretty loosely spun, didn't fall for the low yardage skeins. So I'm happy. We went on Memorial Day. Wilhelm's Mausoleum in Portland, Oregon began construction in, I believe, 1901. They have 8 stories and 7 miles of corridors, and ever since my daughter found out about it and told me about it, I have been wanting to go. We went on Memorial Day. Is the only day that they are open to the general public, and you can walk in and just wander around on your own. They do guided tours, I believe, Wednesdays and Fridays throughout the year. And family members of the 90,000 people buried there are, of course, allowed in anytime when they are open. We were there for 3 hours wandering, and the marble statues and the stained glass and the history of the place just is awe-inspiring. I have wanted to be cremated and scattered. When I am gone, I want it over and done with. I don't want to worry about the worms or graves being relocated, because I saw Poltergeist too many times as a kid, and seeing some of the niches where they had like the urns and the family pictures tucked in around them, I could see picking a quilt and some family photos and changing my plans, but probably not really. You know, we had a death in the family recently, and my grandma had made pre-arrangements for her and grandpa and planned their bench and where the bench would be positioned so the sunlight would fall on it, and kind of following in grandma's footsteps. Now I'm thinking about quilts and urns and niches, and I will put in some pictures of Wilhelms at the tail end of this video if you want to see them, and I've got a blog post with a lot of them coming up later this week. We went to Sisters after Wilhelms. Their Habitat for Humanity thrift shop has moved into a much bigger building, and so we went to check that out. And if you watch my thrifting videos, you may have seen the Snooty Chicken Crock Pot. My teenage son saw one of them, and I don't know where the chicken is on this thing, commented on the chicken, and we included that bit in the video, and now I cannot find the chicken. Somewhere on this, there is a chicken. Right there. That is the Snooty chicken. And I can't get the right angle because it's heavy. So we have been seeing these crock pots on all of our little thrifting adventures. Saw one at Habitat for Humanity, and one of the boys commented on it, because I don't know about you, but when we thrift, there will be something that we see in every store. And it'll be there for a while. For a while, we'll see Snooty chicken crock pots or wicker cornucopias, and either they stop turning up in the stores or we stop thinking about it. Quinn saw this one and commented on it, and then we had to explain the Snooty chicken thing to my husband, who bought the crock pot because he heard online that these crocks are great for rising sourdough bread in. So now for $3 we have a Snooty chicken crock pot. I think they come in different colors. Have I mentioned that I don't know if I'm coming or going right now? Friday, must have been Friday, there was an ad for an estate sale, and you might have seen that on my Instagram. It was a barn sale. They had treadle sewing machines. They had dismantled treadle sewing machines. There were more than a dozen bases. There were probably 20 treadle heads, not counting all of the other machines. So we went and we looked, and my husband bought some rakes, and I convinced myself I didn't need treadle sewing machine drawers or parts. And in the barn, it was an old farmhouse, but they didn't have a lot of stuff, but what they had was old. I have wanted forever and ever a composite baby doll. When I find them, they're expensive, even when they're damaged. Apparently there's that whole creepy baby doll fad. I got my composite baby dolls. And first I wanted this one because, I don't know if you can look at her eyes. There is something, I needed this doll to come home with me. And then I got this one. I was debating between this one and the other one, the third one, but then I realized the third one only had one leg, so. I love old toys. These are composite as best I can tell, because I can see the sawdust in her little head. They've got handmade clothing that is just... I don't think I'd even try to get the stains out. My plan is to get some old lace and linen and sew them beautiful white dresses with bonnets. This one has... There's a voice box in there, and she just creaks a little bit, and you can feel it shift. But there is something about this one that her cloth body is cuddly, and she fits in the crook of my arm, and if I wasn't worried about hurting her, I would be hauling this thing around with me all afternoon because I'm apparently crazy that way. And I don't, these dolls, old dolls like this, I get how they look creepy. They don't spook me. Dolls I had in my childhood, there's another Flosstube video where I talk about that, and they terrified me. So, these aren't haunted dolls, but I used to write horror novels. And if I did bring home a haunted doll from an estate sale, it would have a soft body that fit perfectly in the crook of my arm, and it would make me want to carry it around all day and sew it dresses. It's not haunted. No, it's not. Not keeping it in my bedroom at 3 in the morning. So May is over. We are on into June. The weather is getting nicer, which is... I love that the weather is getting nicer and the days are so long, but we are having big swings in temperature from one day to the next, and I don't know if it is menopause or the blood thinners, but going from 60 degrees on one day to 80 degrees the next day just really messes with my internal thermostat. I got overheated on the way to the grocery store on Sunday. The van hasn't had air conditioning in years, and gave me a headache that wasn't a world-ending headache, but I couldn't shake it, and it was just enough to keep me from getting all the things I wanted to do while Bill was camping done. I'm still cranky about that. I think my plan for June, now that Maynia is over, is to tackle the sewing room and see if I can clear it out up there and set up a little filming spot. There's no artificial light in there, but there is a south-facing window, so I think that I might be able to set up a corner that has better lighting than this situation here. Or I can actually set up some electric lights, some lamps that I can plug in when I'm up there and keep set up in a way that I figure out works. This window is not working. I have some blackout curtains I can put over it that are great for filming, but if I have to change my curtains out every time I do a video, I'm not going to do videos. So we'll see how the sewing room cleanup goes, and I also need to clean up my sewing corner in the dining room, and I have a new stitching corner in the works that I am excited to show you. So we have 4 more days of my husband's vacation, I think. I don't know what's going to be happening then, and once he is back to work and things settle down, I have more videos planned and some tutorials and all kinds of exciting things from the summer. So if you're not subscribed, you might click the subscribe button if you want to see more of what I'm doing and what I do with that yarn haul and the things I bought when I was going in to buy them and bought yarn instead. I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and I will see you again soon.